What just happened behind the scenes at the Eagles will catch everyone by surprise. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. It only took one preseason game, a night in the spotlight, for Darius Cooper to make the leap from a hot unknown to one of Philadelphia's most talked about names. Cooper didn't get his name called on draft day. He stole the show. When the final whistle blew, Cooper was the Eagles' leading receiver, catching 6 passes for 82 yards and delivering a sensational 20-yard touchdown with just 35 seconds remaining in the first half, a score that sealed Philadelphia's 34-27 victory. But here's the thing. It wasn't just what he did. It was how he did it. His routes were precise, his footwork was electric, and his ability to create separation looked like something from a professional background. That touchdown? Pure prosperity. He stepped off the line, left the defender grasping for air, and drove the Jets straight to the end zone. Early in the second quarter, he caught a quick pass, planted his foot, spun to shake off a tackle, and charged forward for extra gains, sending the crowd at Lincoln Financial Field into a frenzy. It's the kind of performance that forces coaches to compensate for the surge. Sure, veterans like A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Jahan Dotson are focused, but the battle for the final wide receiver spots has become a war zone. Johnny Wilson excelled with tough contested catches. Aeneas Smith scored a touchdown and returned a punt 46 yards that sent the sidelines into a frenzy. Terrace Marshall Jr. and Elijah Cooks were flourishing in training camp until injuries slowed them down, further opening the door for someone like Cooper. If the Eagles decide to keep 6 receivers, Cooper's path looks promising. But what if they opt for just 5? Letting him go would be a risky gamble, the kind of decision that could come back to haunt them if he ends up making plays for another time. Their combination, his route-running, catch-winning ability, and mental toughness are rare for an undrafted player. And with 2 more preseason games remaining, the moment is all his. The truth is, this isn't just about one game. Cooper has demonstrated traits that apply to regular season football: route discipline, fearlessness in the middle, and the kind of explosiveness that can turn a routine play into a game-changing moment. These are the details that stick in coaches' minds when roster cuts are made. But while Cooper's emergence is an exciting headline from this preseason opener, the same game also exposed a glaring weakness on the opposite side of the field. A weakness that could become a serious problem if not addressed immediately. And it's not just about a bad series or a missed tackle, it's about a position battle that could define the Eagles' defensive success this season. Coach Nick Sirianni came away from Thursday night's preseason win against the Bengals with a score that looked good, but a defensive tape that expressed more concerns than it resolved. On paper, a 34-27 victory is cause for celebration. But what about the cornerback group? It was a night that exposed flaws the Eagles can't ignore. The setup was simple. Cincinnati played most of its starters for more than a quarter. Philadelphia, meanwhile, rested most of its own. This meant that Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson, both vying for the coveted starting center field spot alongside rising star Quinion Mitchell, were suddenly facing one of football's most dangerous wide receivers, Jamar Chase. And Chase wasted no time proving his elite status. On the Bengals' opening drive, Chase looked effortless. On third down, Jackson stepped up, and in the blink of an eye, he had the first down. A few minutes later, he tiptoed down the sideline to a huge lead over Ringo, his body control and awareness making coverage seem almost irrelevant. But the real gut punch came soon after. A 36-yard touchdown run that Ringo attempted to tackle, completely missed, and left only green grass between Chase and the end zone. By the end of the night, the numbers told the story. Ringo and Jackson combined for 7 tackles, 0 interceptions, and 0 interceptions. Often, they were losing a game rather than dictating it. The Bengals were completing passes with ease, and the post-catch tropes piled up like pennies on the field. This wasn't just a bad series issue, it was a preview of what could happen in the regular season if the Eagles couldn't find a consistent presence at CB2. With Darius Slay now in Pittsburgh, fans were already wondering if Mitchell would have a reliable partner on the outside. The front office clearly anticipated this risk. That's why the Raiders' trade for Jacorian Bennett suddenly seems crucial, perhaps even season-defining. Bennett hasn't gotten a chance in the midnight green uniform yet, but his athleticism and aggressive playmaking could put him in contention. Eli Ricks also stood out, intercepting 2 passes and showing flashes of physical coverage. But flashes aren't enough when the competition is so fierce. The truth is, the battle for CB2 is still open, but time is running out. With 2 preseason games remaining, Sirianni, along with defensive coordinator Vic Fangio, will need to quickly decide who will survive against the NFL's best talent. Because if Chase can do it in a preseason, imagine CeeDee Lamb or Terry McLaurin in a divisional matchup. And as if the secondary's struggles weren't enough to keep fans awake at night, E ramps up the pressure. Because while the defense was disintegrating, another battle for position, one that could influence the entire trajectory of the season, was heating up under the center's command. While the secondary was being dismantled, another battle quietly stole the spotlight. And this time, it was under center command. The Eagles' preseason opener began with a brutal defensive reality check, with Joe Burrow demonstrating in every aspect what an elite quarterback he is. In just 2 drives, Burrow completed 9 of 10 attempts, racking up 123 yards and 2 touchdowns, with a near-perfect 157.5 passer rating. His favorite target, Jamar Chase, did most of the damage, torching Ringo for 77 yards and finishing with a 36-yard touchdown that left the Philadelphia fans breathless. But while he battled for the defense, Tanner McKee turned the game into his own audition tape. Playing the entire first half and much of the third quarter, the Stanford player was focused, completing 14 passes in 17 attempts for 193 yards and 2 touchdowns, one to Aeneas Smith and the other to the Knights' breakout star, Darius Cooper. His poise in the pocket, timing on throws, and ability to push the ball downfield were impossible to ignore. McKee's chemistry with Cooper and the imposing freshman Johnny Wilson gave the Eagles' offense a flaw that changed the tone of the night. It wasn't just about scoring points. It was about commanding the huddle, reading defenses, and making plays under pressure. While Jalen Hurts' starting spot is secure, McKee's performance sends a clear message. He's not here just to fill a roster spot. He wants to be the number 2, the surefire police the Eagles can trust. The question now is whether the coaching staff will capitalize on this momentum and allow McKee to get more reps against high-level opponents in the next 2 preseason games. Because if he continues to play at this level, Philadelphia's proven depth could be the perfect counterbalance to the current defensive uncertainties, and that could be the difference between a good season and a great one. With so many unexpected standouts on offense, like rookie Darius Cooper, and so much uncertainty on defense, especially at cornerback, do you think the Eagles should prioritize immediate defensive reinforcements or focus on the development of the young talent already on the roster? Leave your opinion here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, but I'll be back later to update you with the latest Eagles news.